Welcome to the VPG Onboard Weighing Overload Protection Roundtable, sharing expert insights on needs and trends from Germany and around the world.
This is an increasingly hot topic for operators of goods trucks and vans everywhere, and in particular in Germany, where we are now introducing a breakthrough solution for monitoring and preventing overloading. With me today is Richard Oxland, our Global Export Sales Manager, and Christoph Nause, our VPG Onboard Weighing Sales Manager in Europe.
Yeah, hi, I'm the company's Global Export Sales Manager. I cover the whole world with the exception of one or two regions where we have direct representation, such as the United States, UK, Ireland, France, and of course, Germany, which is the main focus for today's discussion. I've been with VPG now for 9 years.
I'm Christoph Nause. I'm the sales manager for Germany for VPG Onboard Weighing. Been with VPG since June 2023.
Thanks, Richard. Thanks, Christoph. So let's start by talking about overload protection. What is it and why is it so important?
All goods vehicles are rated for maximum safe loads. Ensuring maximum loads are not exceeded is vital for safety, to prevent accidents and overturning, etc. Also to protect vehicles from damage and unnecessary maintenance and time off the road. If you don't have a system on board the vehicle for weighing, the truck driver can't know for sure how much a truck and load weigh. They can't be sure the load is within the allowed limits. So either they will overload, which is a safety and truck reliability issue, or they might err on side of caution and underload, which impacts the productivity and efficiency of the fleet. And there's cost to that as well.
I'd add to that there are already regulations in place in different parts of the world for overweight vehicles, and for different reasons as well. For example, in the UK, we've got Section 41B of the Road Traffic Act 1988, which governs the safe loading and avoidance of overloading of vehicles in the UK. We also have something called the Corporate Manslaughter Act, which was introduced in 2007. And that was designed to bring corporate responsibility to directors and officers in the event that there might be an unfortunate death whilst someone is at work. In Europe, in May of 2021, the EU issued a directive that all EU member states must take measures to make sure that they identify vehicles and vehicle combinations that might be overweight. So that's particularly poignant for what we're talking about today in Germany. In Australia, they have laws enforcing overweight vehicles, and they also have something called chain of responsibility, which puts the onus on businesses to make sure that their heavy goods vehicles are safe and legal to drive. And then also elsewhere the world, the United Arab Emirates now has compulsory onboard weighing that it's introduced within the last couple of years. At the moment, that's on waste vehicles, but that's going to spread throughout all commercial vehicles in the UAE. So worldwide, there's a risk of fines, or worse still, potentially a risk of criminal prosecution.
Thanks, Christoph. Thanks, Richard. Wow, there's a lot of information to take on board there, literally. Christoph, could you comment specifically about the overload situation in Germany?
Richard's point out about regulation is important. Here in Germany, all trucks and van operators are subject to a new EU legislation that might not be in front of mind here, because here it hasn't been a huge push to enforce it, but there's always a risk of fines, and we can expect enforcements to increase, particularly since the regulation was just updated in last May. But even if we put the issue of regulation aside, overload protection is definitely something that fleet managers and truck or van operators need to think about because of the safety risk and the risk of damage to the vehicle. In Germany, there are hundreds of thousands of trucks and vans on the road, and almost very few of them have an overload protection. And each truck or vehicle which has a VPG onboard weighing system on board It's definitely much more safer for everybody, not just for the driver, but for everybody around him.
The VPG expertise. Why is it the VPG is taking the lead on bringing overload protection to the German market?
Well, VPG has been at the forefront of onboard weighing now for over 30 years. We were instrumental in bringing onboard weighing to the bulk market and to the waste market. Since 2007, though, we've introduced our patented solid state technology, i.e. truck weigh and van weigh as well. There are currently over 30,000 vehicles with our systems on them, and that's in over 40 different countries around the world. Being part of the global VPG business team also means that we have nearly 2,500 employees worldwide, and we manufacture in 11 different countries. So we have real pedigree when it comes to weighing solutions.
So in brief, what is the VPG overload protection solution?
What we are offering is two kinds of systems called van weigh and truck weigh. So we have 2 sensors per axle, which measuring the weight on each axle exactly, and showing it on a display in the cabin, so that the visually and acoustically warning the driver if he's overloaded or not, and he can see the single axle as well in percentage and kilogram. So he's purely informed what is the exact weight on each axle and overall, and so he can be sure that he's legal and safe.
Thanks, Christoph. Goodness, the fundamental technology behind VPG's onboard weighing approach is simply unique. Please tell me more about that.
Well, Simon, we use what's called fit and forget technology. So unlike almost any other overload systems, our patented solid state sensor technology doesn't have any external moving parts. It means that unlike other systems, once it's fitted and calibrated, it's far less likely to need recalibration. And that means there's less vehicle downtime for the customer and better fleet efficiency. Some spring-based systems need recalibrating quite frequently, in fact, every 3 to 6 months. So you find that the whole life cost of a spring system, for example, including the vehicle downtime for each calibration, not to mention the fee for each calibration on top of that, makes a cheap system suddenly become incredibly expensive due to the continual maintenance. Whereas with our technology, our fit and forget technology, it's far more cost effective over the whole of the vehicle's lifetime.
Okay, let's cut to the chase. What do you see as the key benefits of VPG overload protection?
So number one definitely is safety. There's a new level of safety. We call it safety 2.0 if you have a VPG onboard weighing system on your vehicle. Additionally, efficiency, optimizing your loads, and as Richard said, fit and forget. So do not need to recalibrate, just install it and forget it. It works all the lifetime of the car. And of course, last but not least, reduce the risk of fines or losing licenses.
We've got the benefit of reducing the wear and tear, particularly on steering and suspension and tires for the vehicle. It helps the customer effectively to optimize their fleet size based on permitted loads. It can help to reduce time for wasted journeys. I'll give you an example. If a vehicle loads in the forestry environment, it could be 3-4 miles inside the forest where it's loading, but it doesn't see a weigh bridge for about 3 or 4 miles until it gets back to the entrance to the site. So it loses all of that time traveling back to find that the vehicle's not loaded efficiently or that the vehicle's overloaded and has to go back and reload. So it's very efficient from that point of view. It optimizes fuel efficiency as well with having an optimized load. And I would add to that, one of the biggest things at the moment, particularly in the UK and Europe, being that efficient massively improves your carbon footprint. It's good for health and safety, safer load positions and limits. It's good corporate responsibility, avoiding things like corporate manslaughter, and also avoiding fines and giving drivers the right and safe tools to do the job. When you monitor loading and unloading locations as well, this is something we haven't talked about with, say, a third-party system like a telematics system, or even our own telematics system. Used in conjunction with something like that, you can actually prevent theft and illegal unloading as well. We had an example in the UK of a tyre company that was losing tyres, and he didn't know where. But with an onboard solution like VanWeigh, the customer was able to see whereabouts the vehicle was stopping, but also that the load was changing where the vehicle stopped. So it can actually help to prevent theft as well.
Let's also talk about OEMs, converters and distributors.
Aside from the customers, there are benefits to the vehicle manufacturers themselves as well. In Africa, for example, we worked in conjunction with a major truck manufacturer in the mining sector, and that was to reduce wear and tear on their suspension and steering components. Our system actually helped the manufacturer to reduce and to validate warranty claims that were being made in the mining sector, just purely through preventing overloading in such a harsh environment. With vehicle converters, we've got partnerships now. So our solution is integrated. For example, our VanWeigh system forms part of some bespoke solutions now for vehicle racking and tool or asset management companies. So instead of just putting the racking inside the vehicle, these guys are now offering a full solution with their own application on a mobile phone that integrates their tool management, their racking, and also their vehicle weighing as well. We also have a network of distributors worldwide who are benefiting from offering and installing our systems on their behalf. It's a subject close to my heart, being the global export manager. These are businesses who know their own regions and they know their own markets very well. And they believe that our products are the right solution for their customers, as well as it being the right business model for their own success, in particular in countries where we've seen huge success, in Australia and Japan and the United Arab Emirates.
Thank you, Christoph. Thank you, Richard. Thank you for watching. Please leave your information below or click on the link direct to our website.